Hi everyone, this is Luke, and today I'm here in the midst of the stunning mountains of Ras al-Khaimah, which is the northernmost emirate of the United Arab Emirates. And I played here last night, had a lovely night here, and today is actually my last day in the UAE. So tonight I'll fly to Bahrain for the next stage of the Gate of Heaven tour. And don't forget, you can check out the tour dates and get the details on my website at lukeslot.com/tour. And it's been really wonderful to be in the Emirates during this year, because not only, of course, this year is the bicentenary of the birth of the Bab, but 2019 has actually been declared as the United Arab Emirates National Year of Tolerance. And so throughout this year, the government here is really asking the citizens of UAE to really make a concerted effort to deal with issues of prejudice in the country, and to really participate in a collective effort to become a more tolerant nation. So it's been really great to be here during this year and pick up on that fresh spirit of tolerance in society here. And with this in mind, I'm continuing to think a lot about the Bab's journey in 1844 when he travelled around the Gulf, and he would have passed right by Ras al-Khaimah, because Ras al-Khaimah is this piece of land that juts out right into the waters of the Gulf. And so the Bab probably sailed right by here on his way around the Arabian Peninsula when he went to Mecca to announce that he was the promised one in public for the first time. And one of the stories that came to mind, just thinking about this year of tolerance and this journey that the Bab took, through around this area, through the Gulf. One story that came to mind is about is a story that is described in Mr. Balyuzi's book about the Bab, and he describes how on this voyage, which lasted I think about 2 or 3 months, the Bab elicited this tremendous respect from his fellow passengers on the ship, and these good relations between the Bab and the other passengers really to some extent alleviated some of the burdens of the journey, because, as I mentioned in the last video, the conditions of travel were extremely difficult. I mean, it was a very stormy journey on the waters of the Gulf, and the overall conditions of travel were just so much more difficult in that time than they are today. But there was one old man on board this ship who did not take kindly to the Bab, and he actually became very jealous of this respect that the Bab was receiving from all the other passengers. And this old man, whose name was Sheikh Abu Hashim, became he started to cause trouble on the ship. He started hurling insults at the Bab. He started picking fights with him. He started treating the Bab in an increasingly abusive manner, day after day after day. And he just generally made the whole voyage even more difficult than it already was, not only for the Bab, but for the whole atmosphere, for all the other passengers on board the ship. And eventually the captain of the ship decided that he had just had enough of the behaviour of Abu Hashim, and he ordered his ship workers to take this man and throw him overboard. And so the ship workers take hold of Abu Hashim, and they're just about to throw him off the ship into the waters of the Gulf. And the Bab appears on the deck, and he suddenly hurls himself onto Abu Hashim to protect him. And the Bab pleads with the captain of the ship not to throw him overboard, but to just let this matter go. And he says something really profound to the captain. He tells him that people who behaved in that manner ultimately harmed only themselves, and so one should be tolerant and forgiving. And so I think that this is such a beautiful example of how, in order to create a more tolerant society, as the UAE is really striving to do this year, it always has to begin with making an effort to become more tolerant and forgiving in our own individual relationships with each other. And so I really love this story and wanted to share it with you while I'm here in UAE. So thank you all again for following the tour. If you'd like to support the tour, you can do so at patreon.com/lukeslot. If you're already a patron, or if you're already supporting the tour in any way, if you're helping out, if you're hosting concerts, if you're helping out in so many different ways, I'm deeply grateful for all you're doing to make this happen. And don't forget to check out the tour dates at lukeslot.com/tour. You can join my mailing list there on the website too to receive updates, and you can get specific tour details from Matt Taze on the website. So I will update you from the next stage of the Gate of Heaven tour, and in the meantime I send you love from the beautiful mountains of Ras al-Khaimah. Bye for now.
I beg thee to forgive me, oh my Lord, for every mention but the mention of thee.